What's going on, guys? This is BunnyMuffins. I think I found the best combination of units and traits that exists in the game. Like, if you hit it, you should be winning like every single game. We'll get more into that in a moment. Obviously, like for these combinations, if you don't hit it, it's not quite as strong. But if you do, I think it's like one of the best combinations in the game, and this is the Riven composition, but I'll leave the complementary synergy as a surprise for now. But we're in a game here. We have a bunch of Grandmasters here. We have, I think, like one or two Challenger players as well in this lobby. And this composition, it beat like 3-star sets, it beat 2-star legendaries, it beat like all the 4-cost carries. It's actually pretty nuts, so let's just get into the game right now. So we start off with a Leona 2-star, drop in the Thresh, and I think we pick up the Aatrox or the Udyr. Maybe we keep Udyr for something else. But with two bows, you want to go for some sort of Yasuo or Riven comp. These two comps share a lot of items, and I think it does really well on its own. So we end up getting a tier. I guess a little bit of gold, so we could buy our shop and go next. So double bow. It's probably RFC, or it could be Hellions with Static Shiv. We get a nice Aatrox there. So with the Legionnaire start, with the bows, I'm definitely going some sort of Riven or Yasuo right now. I think I'm actually going to level up, put a random unit in. I'm not really sure who. Maybe it should be a range unit because we don't really have any of those. So I guess Lissandra, even though Lissandra's horrible, I'd rather put her in over like a melee unit such as an additional Gragas, Warwick, or Leona, which is in my shop. All right, we are facing a Hellion guy with a Udyr. But yeah, with these types of starts with bow and tier, you could definitely go Hellions if you have the start for it. But we just don't have any Hellions in our shop right now, so a little unfortunate there. Would have been a really good combo to start off the game with because Teemo is a very strong composition in this meta right now. Alessandra actually did some work. Against Hellions, I guess she's not that bad because she kind of AoEs them down. So we won that game, which is nice. And in this next shop, we have the choice between Shadow Bow or Negatron. So since I'm building RFC, I think I'm going to grab the Shadow Bow. It does restrict my items a tiny bit because if I do go for Yasuo, you do not want a Shadow Runons on him at all because Shadow Runons does not allow for on-hit effects. But if we were to go that route, I think we would just transition into something like a Draven with these items instead because Draven can use the Shadow Runons plus the RFC. So in case we don't hit Riven, we still have additional outs. So we are facing this guy. He's level 4. He won his last round. Okay, so he's got the Static Shiv package for for Hellions, which is really scary, especially in the late game because Teemo is just super strong right now, especially Teemo 1. So a lot of legendaries such as Heimerdinger, you need Heimer 2 for it to do anything. But with Teemo 1 just absolutely obliterates everything. I've tried going Hellions before, and if you hit the Teemo 1 start, you are going to be set for that entire game. I don't know if your experiences have been the same, but yeah. So let's see what we have here. We have an Ashe LeBlanc in our shop. Can't really use them quite yet. If you want to go Draconics, obviously Ashe and Udyr are great, but we just don't have the items for it this game. If we had a bunch of swords instead of bows, I definitely would have gone for Draconics instead. I am going to be releasing a Draconic guide I made with DQA. DQA is, I think he's like rank 8 right now or something like that, but he's always high up there. He got 9th overall in the World Championship, and he made a set guide for me, so look out for that tomorrow if you guys are interested in learning how to play set from one of the best players in the world who plays set. And how do you get notified of that video coming out? Well, you can subscribe below and click the notification bell if you do want to learn how to play some comps. But back to the game, we are on the carousel. So I think I want to finish a Runon. So that Shadow Negatron is looking mighty fine. If not, maybe something like a crit would be useful because Quicksilver is very nice on Riven. But we are able to get the Negatron, so nice job there. All right, so we're leveling up here for sure. I think we sell the Lee Sin to build the Runons right away. And then as for what to play, we could play Nocturne and Katarina instead of this Callista. I'm not sure if it's the best thing to do, but it's possible. So when you play Riven, you generally want to have a lot of, what's it called? Legionnaires. You could do Dawnbringers as well. Some people like doing Dawnbringers. Both are fine. It depends what you hit during the game. I think the Legionnaire variation is a little stronger, but you don't really have control of that because you're not allowed to choose what champions you get in the game. But I think I went for Varus. I'm not sure why I didn't go for Katarina and Nocturne. I think it's because I saw I had redeemed on my board if I went for the Varus and Syndra. So that could be the reason why. I'm not really sure which one is actually stronger. They're probably both around the same power level. If you went for either decision, I think it would have been like we would have won this round regardless. All right, so on to the next shop. We get a Syndra 2-star. Going to pick that up. Then on to this next guy. He is going for, I guess, brawlers. Maybe he's trying to go set as well. A lot of set players. It is one of the best comps. And you know what's interesting about set is that when I watch people stream, like the really high challenger players, there's like 3 players going for set every game. But in my games where I'm like a little lower LP, no one really goes set. So I feel like for everyone else, we should just be like one tricking set because no one else goes for it except for really, really high level players. It's really weird. I don't know why that is. Like, I'd assume people copy the high level players, but that just hasn't been what's been happening. So here now I'm thinking like, what do we want to actually build? We could build a Quicksilver. Nothing's in our shop right now that's interesting. If we build Hand of Justice, we're kind of playing for top 4, but I think we could aim for higher this game because if you look at our items, we do have like perfect Riven items right now. We just need maybe another bow item or a Quicksilver, for example, so that she doesn't get crowd controlled, because really the only thing stopping Riven from really going off is crowd control. Also, we don't even have Riven yet, so we might end up going for like an Aphelios build or a Draven build at this point in the game because there's no guarantee that we're hitting Riven, and if we don't see a lot of Rivens really soon, we're going to be in a bit of trouble. So we have a sword there. I'm going to pick that up for Infinity Edge. Can't really complain about Infinity Edge with these items because, again, you could just go Draven, and it's gonna be a really good item combination on him. So we're for sure leveling up here. Question is, how much do we roll? I think we could roll to either 30 or 20 because if we have a 2-cost carry, it's a pretty high chance that we hit it. We don't have to play Varus either. We could play someone else, and I think we do want a second Ranger to complement him because he's got so many of our items. We get the Varus 2 there, which obviously is very, very lucky, and then perfect with the Ashe there. But I think if we just got an Ashe earlier, and say we saw Ashe and were able to keep 30 gold, I think we would have stopped there. It just so happened we were still looking for a Ranger, and we happened to hit the Varus 2-star. But obviously, really nice game there already. So we are able to beat this guy most likely because our team is super strong right now. But again, like if I didn't hit Varus 2-star, I'd have 10 more gold, for example. We're now on stage 3-3. I think we passed this turn. Nothing's really too enticing. I know we have like 4 redeemed, but there really isn't anything better to put in right now because all our redeems are 2-star. So unless we 2-star something else or get like a crazy insane synergy with that extra slot, which we can't right now, I don't really think we need to worry so much about having an off number of a certain synergy. You know, Thresh and Syndra is actually a pretty funny combo because Syndra throws someone to the back and then Thresh CCs them, sometimes often killing them. By the way, so IE would have been a good slam there if you're playing for top 4, but since I want to be a little greedier, I wanted a Bloodthirster for my Riven. Bloodthirster or Quicksilver, both are really good. That's why I ended up not building an item quite yet. Of course, if you do end up building the IE, like I wouldn't have been disappointed about that. It's just a different type of playstyle. So Shadow Tier is probably what I wanted for Shadow Hand of Justice, but I think we just take the Rod there because tiers are not really that useful in this composition. To be fair, Rod isn't that useful either, so we kind of just wasted a carousel. I'm going to build the IE now because we do have a little bit of a streak, and since we didn't get a good item off that carousel, we're kind of just playing for a best case scenario right now. So this guy is doing Hellion. He's got full 2-stars. So he is actually spiking pretty hard. He also has the Morello on Kennen. Morello Kennen is so broken. Look at that. Morello to pretty much my whole team, except for Varus, which I guess is the most important guy. But man, IE is hitting really hard with the Shadow Runons. It's such a good item combination. Unfortunately, we lose just by so little. So both our losses so far, we've lost by like 1 HP. That's pretty annoying because we could have been streaking that whole time if we had like 1 extra auto or whatever. And we'd have like 10 more gold. So it's a little weird sometimes how the game works. All right, not much in this shop here, so I'm just going to skip to the fight. This guy's going set. He's got 2-star set already. He's got the Draconics. He's got 4 brawlers. So this guy is in his favorite spot right now. That's like a tongue twister. But we throw his set to the back line. Syndra's actually pretty good against set if you guess the right side because she kind of throws him back. But I think I lose this one anyways. This is our first legitimate loss, I feel like, because we lost by 5 units. And then I think I'm just going to sell this Thresh for extra gold. So we do want to end up having Thresh 2-star because he's in our board right now, but he's not really part of our final composition, so I'm not afraid to sell him to make interest. Right, so we get a bunch of stuff here. Get some tiers and a Negatron. It's a little awkward. I guess we're building a Chalice. It's not really that great of an item. At this point, I'm thinking I should just be playing maybe like a Draven, but we finally hit our first Riven there. Unfortunately, we can't really play her quite yet. All right, we are going to be facing another set player. He is 1 off a set 3, so holy cow, that is disgusting. But this isn't where we want to be right now. You might notice I did not level up to level 7, and that's because I really want to maximize my gold and level up next turn instead, because we do not have that much of it right now because we were not able to form like a big streak in the early and mid game. So we take another big loss there. We're at 61 life now. Things are not looking good anymore. In the beginning they were, but it kind of fell off really, really quickly. So these items here, none of them really do that much. Maybe I'm building like a Morello or something like that. But I think I do hold off for now. There is another Riven. Obviously, I already told you guys we are going for a Riven this game. But you see here already, we do not have the best Riven start. We didn't hit Riven 2-star during Stage 3, for example, which is typically what happens in a lot of different Riven games. I went ahead and built the blue buff on Ashe. Obviously, you do not want that item, but it's a thing you can build. Just because it's like the best of a bad situation. Like on all the carousels so far, I think we've only got a good item on one of them. So that's really not what we're looking for at this point in time. Ooh, that Runon's barely missed the kill. 2 HP on the Zyra there. We are getting like ripped off on a lot of these fights. I'm not gonna lie, guys. All right, next shop here. We're gonna do a slow roll a little bit. Because maybe we hit Draven on level 7. I don't want to commit too hard quite yet. But we do hit the Draven there. We do want to get a Riven 2-star before we replace the Varus. So I think we could roll like maybe a tiny bit more, maybe down to 40 at this point. That's my bad. I rolled once too many times. We have to buy the Yasuo. I think we just sell the Leona here because we don't end up needing her later. And we need to make interest. So I think we're just sacrificing this round. We do need to find a time to all in soon. Hopefully we can make it to 5-1 before the all in, but we might have to do it sooner rather than later. Varus should be carrying a little harder. I don't know why we're losing this hard in most of our fights because it's not like everyone else is that much stronger. We have one guy who's 1 off Varus 3, we have one guy who's 1 off set 3, and then I think the second set player was doing pretty well too. What item do we want here though? I think we want to get some sort of items for Mordekaiser. That's why I grabbed the belt before, and we just grabbed a new belt here just to make the Warmogs on him. It is just by far the best item on him. There's our Riven 2, so I'm going to sell this Varus. Swap the items over. We don't need the Ashe anymore, so I should be rolling. I should be buying this Callista and rolling down to, what's it called, 50 gold. So there's another Riven. That's really nice. And, oh, Yasuo Taric is good too. So the hidden synergy, I'm going to say it now. It is, by the way, I should take out Syndra here. The hidden synergy is Verdant, because Verdant is a pseudo Quicksilver Sash. It does not last that long. It lasts 5 seconds at 2 Verdant and I think 8 seconds at 3 Verdant. But you'll see, maybe not in this game, but in the future, it is incredibly, incredibly powerful on Riven because if she gets free reign to auto attack with these items, you're going to have a great time because she's going to kill everyone before the Verdant buff disappears. Obviously, we just got destroyed in this last fight, but that guy hit a Teemo 1-star as a Hellion build. So this lobby is really, really strong. We're not beating up a lobby that like just didn't hit everything. Most people in this lobby hit. Actually, like everyone hit except for me now, if you think about it. By the way, I'm going to pass on the Yasuo because we just don't have any Yasuo items, so I'd much rather use my economy to find the Riven first. If I did have a lot more Rivens, I probably would have bought the Yasuos because that means I don't need that much more gold to find the last couple of Rivens. But since we do not have many of her, I can't afford to buy the Yasuo. So that's one thing to keep in mind when playing for 3 stars. This guy's got Brand 3. He's almost got Sejuani 3 and Thresh 3 as well. Pretty interesting build. I love the Cavalier build, but luckily we're able to beat this guy because we're pretty good against him. He does a lot of damage over time. Riven with Infinity Edge does a lot of upfront damage, so we're able to kill a lot of his team beforehand. All right, so we see a Riven there. There is an Ashe, so we could replace our Ashe potentially if we want the blue buff on someone else. I think I should buy that, but let's roll down to 50 again. Oh, there's Draven 2-star, nice. So here I make a mistake. I should just sell my Ashe on the board and replace her with the 1-star Ashe, but I just didn't have the brain power to find that play. Okay, these items are like complete garbage because we just can't build anything. I guess we're building Chalice and a hat. But we need to roll all the way down to 0 right now. I can't worry about anything else right now. Rise might be... Oh, there's Mordekaiser, so I could play 6 Legionnaire. I think I take those guys out. And now I really want to level up to level 8 because now I want to put Taric back in. But we need to find this Riven first. If not, we're losing the game because we're at 33 life. So we're going to do the roll down. Not hitting quite yet, especially since we have the Nico. It's like a no-brainer to roll down all the way down here. There's the Mordekaiser, but I am not fast enough to roll all my gold. So a little unlucky there. I'm going to drop the hat on Mordekaiser and then the Chalice probably on Yasuo because he's right next to Mordekaiser. And that way, if I find a third Mordekaiser item, I could go ahead and put it on him there. This guy is Victor 3, Hecarim 3. Dude, this new Hecarim build is so funny. It just doesn't die. And I got absolutely trashed here. So we are down to, oh god, 16 life. We'll find the Riven, though. We'll find the Riven. We got 30 gold and a Nico. I'm just too slow at rolling. If you guys are faster at rolling, you're going to hit the Riven there every time, and your game's going to be, or your life is going to be a lot easier at that point. But we're just going to keep doing the roll down here. Not really hitting quite yet, though. We're hitting so many Yasuos. Why didn't we go Yasuo this game? It's a little unfortunate. If we had regular Runons, we could definitely go Yasuo, but we have the Shadow Runon, so it's unplayable. But we get the Riven 3 there. We just need to level up to level 8 now somehow to put Verdant in, because that's where she really truly shines. So this guy's set 3. He's level 8. He's pretty chillin'. He almost has Nunu 3, but this Mordekaiser's super, super strong as well. I can't give the credit all to Riven because Mordekaiser is a crank on his own. Actually, let's look at the damage charts. Never mind, it's all Riven. I mean, after Mordekaiser ulted, it definitely did seem like he was doing damage, so I can't really fault him there. So another thing you could run instead of Verdant is Dawnbringer. If you have, let's say, like a Quicksilver Sash on your Riven, Dawnbringer is really, really nice to put in. Just because with Quicksilver, you don't need that extra crowd control reduction because it does not stack. But look at this here. Her autos are just hurting so hard after she ultimates. Oh, and just a fun fact, guys. You might notice RFC makes her ultimate really useless because Riven stuns in an area around her. Let's get, I think we could get either a tank item or maybe the Zeke's or Kale because she's Verdant. Yeah, we could take Kale because she's Verdant. So we could replace the Aatrox or the Kalista with her. But what I was saying before, RFC is a little counterintuitive on Riven. However, because she's only used for damage in this composition, it just doesn't matter. Because her stun doesn't really mean anything. It's kind of like Warwick back in a previous set. Warwick had a fear around him after he killed a unit, but we still built RFC on him back in the day too. The reason why we did that is because the safety of your Warwick outweighed the value of the stun or the fear from that champion. And the same thing applies to Riven here. Because look at this, she just stays so far away. She stuns nothing, but she kills everything. So she kind of just stuns people in a different way by just killing them. But as you guys can see already, I'm just dropping Kale in the front line just so she puts crowd control reduction on all my primary carries. She's around Riven, she's around Mordekaiser, and she's even around Yasuo. And then I have Ashe in the back to put it on Draven, even though Draven doesn't do that much in this comp because he doesn't have items. But if I did have items for Draven, I would put the Verdant buff on him too. But yeah, it's just a Riven show. She kills everything as the fight starts, and I do end up getting an RFC here. I could put that on Draven or Mordekaiser. I think I'm going to put it on Mordekaiser in this game though. Reason why is because we are at 16 life, and we leveled up to level 8 here. But yeah, we're at 16 life, so we don't really have time to get a third Mordekaiser item, and he really is the only other champion that matters in this composition. Whenever you're running Verdant, like, you generally only run Verdant in comps where only one champion matters, or two champions, and in this case, we only have two champions that matter. I'm going to spread my guys out so that I put the Verdant buff on everyone. Let's see who we are facing here. This is the Hellion player. Man, he's got 4 Abomination Spatulas. Jesus Christ. That actually sounds really, really good. I don't know how he afforded all of them, though. I guess when you only need Teemo items, it just doesn't matter, but look at this Riven. Holy cow. Just like two-shotting everything. She attacks so quickly, and she does so much damage. So I guess I just roll down to 0 for Taric here, because again, we're 16 life, so we're fighting for our life right now. And we are able to hit him here, so that is perfect. So we have our full team upgraded apart from the Kale now. We could use a replacement Kale to put the Archangels on someone else, but I think just having the 3 Verdant after taking her off of Carousel is well worth the price, because that last item, like, do we really need it? Who would we put it on? It really doesn't mean anything. Oh my god, Riven just kills the set right there. Kills the Nunu pretty easily. And yeah, when you can't get CC'd, you're just going to kill everything. Whenever you have a melee carry, crowd control reduction means so much. You notice how when we played Jack's carry, we often built a Quicksilver on him. When we play Mordekaiser, Quicksilver was played on him as well. But if we have a Riven, she's melee, we need Quicksilver or Verdant. Because Legionnaires run like a Verdant champion, it's kind of like a no-brainer to add it in. It's kind of funky not playing Dawnbringer in a comp like this though, but if we had level 9, like for sure we'd be playing an additional Dawnbringer, or if we had Legionnaire Spatula. However, believe it or not, if we did have a choice between the God Kings, I think I might go for Darius over Garen, because Darius gives armor reduction. But if you do have a Garen 2-star, I wouldn't mind that either, just because you get the Dawnbringer trait, which is well worth it on its own too. So we have the Redemption. I'm going to put that on Taric. Always put Redemption on Taric. It's just like one of the best item combos. But I guess we could roll here to find a new Kayle so that we could replace the item. We're not really hitting level 9 this game because we're just too low life this whole time. But you guys may have noticed already, we fought our way back all the way from like pretty much dead last, all the way to a top 3 already. So yeah, Redemption on Taric. I guess Archangel's on Ashe so that she ults faster. Since she has a blue buff, she's going to get the most cast off, so it's going to be the most worth it there. Oh, I do make a mistake here. You may have noticed my Mordekaiser gets CC'd here, and that's because I accidentally moved my Kayle. Not accidentally. I purposely moved my Kayle, but I forgot that no one's hitting Mordekaiser anymore. So my Taric and Mordekaiser just didn't get the... Or my Mordekaiser just didn't get the Verdant buff. So that's my bad there. Luckily, we're still able to pull out the win there, but immediately I noticed, so I just moved Kayle back 1 square. So essentially, the reason why I moved Kayle before was because I wanted to hit Taric with the Verdant buff so that he doesn't get crowd controlled so he could heal my whole team, but like it's just too hard to do in this specific game. So yeah, I mean, it's just rinse and repeat, guys. We are against a Hellion person. Oh. I guess we lost this one. I thought we won every game until the end, but I guess Teemo is just that strong. But as I was saying, guys, like we're facing guys with 3-star sets. We're facing guys with 3-star Varuses. We're facing guys with 2-star Teemo, like with full Hellion board. But we're holding up pretty well. Like I will admit that. And that's just the power of this composition. Riven 3, like, is Mordekaiser doing stuff? Of course he is. But he's like a very small part of this entire team. It's really just Riven plus the Verdant buffs. But I highly recommend this composition if you guys want to get first place. You do have to get a little lucky. Like, I'm not going to deny that. But if you hit everything, it's going to be really good. So best items on Riven, you probably want like a Bloodthirster on her instead of the Infinity Edge. It gives her a little more survivability because you don't always get an RFC. Runons, of course, is like another one of the best items. Shadow Runons, I think, is the best. But if you go regular Runons, that's fine too. And you could flex between her and Yasuo if you do that. So this is the Abomination guy again. Man, this board is so crazy. I like... Yeah, I don't know what to say. It's like... It's just cool to look at because he has 4 Abomination Spatulas, but we're able to pull out the win there. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this game. I feel like this combination is just way too strong because Riven combined with everything just does way too much AoE damage, especially with the Infinity Edge. If you had a Bloodthirster, I don't think she would have cleaned up that easily, but every game's different, so always build against whatever you're playing, and also always build with whatever you hit in the actual game. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Go for Riven 3. If you don't hit Riven, go for something like Draven or Aphelios with the same items, and you should be fine there. But yeah, I'll see you guys later, and do look out for the set guide coming out tomorrow.